Okay, so now I've got the Los Angeles Rams draft reaction. I'll give you my thoughts on each pick and then give an overall grade at the end. So, first pick in the draft was very surprising to me and a lot of people around the draft who like to follow it. Tutu Atwell. He's just very small. It's very concerning. He's 155. That's very small. He's a really good deep threat. Like, it won't take it away from him. He was a good receiver at Louisville, but that size converting to the NFL, you might get one hit and just be absolutely out. And especially for a team that's not that needy on receivers, like I thought maybe going for the offensive line with this pick when there's good players available just isn't probably just isn't the best use of your pick when you don't have a lot of picks in the draft anyway and you have positions of need because you were in cap struggles. So I don't really like the pick that much. He is a good player, but I thought he would go much later just because of those size concerns. Unless it's not a concern, unless they've fixed it up or something. This was a pretty nice pick though in the third round. Maybe a bit of a reach, but Ernest Jones, he's a really good tackler, has very big hitter also. And the Rams, they kind of needed another linebacker in that middle of their defense. They don't really got anybody. So I think Ernest Jones can definitely come in there and be that three down linebacker. He definitely has that ability. He might not be amazing straight away. They do need depth though at the linebacker position, and he will fill that. And they don't really got much people there. He does a good athlete also, which they could use in a lot of different ways. And then they went for Bobby Brown also in the fourth round. This was a nice pick. He's a really good nose tackle. Like he was probably my third or fourth nose tackle in the draft. Like after McNeil and Shelvin. Like so he's a good player and getting some more depth on that D line also after you lose some guys. And besides Aaron Donald, he could take some pressure off of him. He's a really good run blocker and also pretty good pass rush at the same time. Like he can just beat you one on one just because of his power and pretty good athlete also to be honest. He's just a good all around player that could be really good in this defense and I think they're just addressing good needs with their two first picks and they're on the defense, so I like it and I like Bobby Brown as a player. And then they also got Robert Rochelle, a project player that's for sure. Like he has all the traits, he's amazing athlete, like one of the best. Just played at Central Arkansas, not any competition there. Was amazing there, of course, because it's Central Arkansas. But he will need to like learn some more cornerback stuff because he's not pro ready. He in the fourth round, I'd take a shot on Robert Rochelle. Fourth or fifth round, definitely take a shot on him because he has all the traits to be an excellent cornerback in the league. And learning from players like Jalen Ramsey and players in that secondary, I think would be very helpful for Robert Rochelle. And in the future, like he could be a starter in this league just with those traits and athleticism that he already has. He's already got everything. He just needs to build it all together. So I liked it. And then they went for Jacob Harris. Fourth round, probably wouldn't pick him here. Probably more of a late round pick. He could definitely move to tight end with his size. He might. Or he could just be a really big receiver. The receiver room's pretty deep now. I don't know how much playing time he'll get unless he moves to like tight end. But he's a really good athlete also. And he doesn't have amazing hands, but he's a really good threat on that UC offense, and you can definitely see him being a good player in the league. It's just take a shot at him, I guess. Oh, yeah, Jacob Harris, decent player. And then they went for Ernest Brown. This was a bit of a surprise. Fifth round for Ernest Brown, probably a bit of a reach. They have a lot of reaches, but he's got pretty good quickness, and he could be a good rotational player. I'm just surprised they haven't addressed anything on the offensive line. Like the interior offensive line, fifth round, there's still some good players. Getting an edge rusher, I don't know how much it will help your team. But yeah, he's a decent player. And then went for Jake Funk. I like Jake Funk, of course. Who doesn't like Jake Funk? The white running back from Maryland. He's pretty sick. Like, he's just a tough runner. He could be a good backup to Cam Akers, honestly. They're kind of similar players in a way, but he definitely has high upside. I like Jake Funk. Like, I like him. Maybe seventh round. Probably more of an undrafted player, but I don't mind it. And then I went for Ben Skronik. Probably a tight end, to be honest. he's like the Ian Book of receivers, and he's from Notre Dame. Like, just not very impressive. Just does his job, catches balls. That's it. Not a good route runner. Just a big receiver. Not a good like. I mean, if he could move to tight end, he's probably not going to be a good blocker. He's not fast. He's just not a good player. I definitely wouldn't use a draft pick on him. I mean, I just don't like Ben Skronik. And then they just went for a player I never heard of in my life, Chris Garr. He was like Division 2 or Division 3, I think I saw. Yeah, Division 2. But I mean, 30 sacks in 2 seasons. I think he's just an amazing athlete, and that's what I saw. He's just a super big athlete, and probably more of a linebacker than an edge rusher. So I like it. Good athlete, maybe more of an undrafted player also. Like, that's kind of what they did. They just kind of reached, I think, for quite a few players. It wasn't the best draft overall with the players that they got. Like, I like some of their picks, but then there's like some reaches, but I still like the players. I mean, Tutu Atwell didn't like it. Ernest Jones quite liked. Bobby Brown liked. Robert Shell I quite like. Jacob Harris, maybe a bit of a reach, but you can take a shot on him. Ernest Brown, probably not at this point. Jake Funk I like just because Jake Funk. And the last two picks, besides Chris Garrett, I kind of like him. I guess just what I saw. And then Ben Skronik, nah. So I mean, probably a B minus. I'll give it a B minus because I like a few of their picks, like especially Robert Rochelle and Bobby Brown. I think they can be really big impacts on your team. Even Ernest Jones could step in there at linebacker. Don't know how good he'll be straight away, but definitely player to improve on in the future. I think he can definitely be that. So I think B minus overall for this draft is very generous. I mean, I've seen like C's and everything. I'm not going to give that because I like some of the picks. So that's kind of it. And then the next draft I'll have is for the Raiders. So you better stay tuned because that'll be interesting for sure. And see ya.